And I don't know if the principals want to elaborate on their written reports, which were very well written.
Do we have any numbers yet?
The numbers, I guess I'll just speak up. That's the first thing on my report, and the thing that I would say about it, it's tentative. Every day it seems like we've got a couple more coming in, or mostly coming in at this point, rather than going out, which is good news. So the numbers that are projected there, speaking to the middle school specifically, they're not really off. I mean, by 10 kids or anything like that, but it's going to be 2 or 3 off for sure, given by class. But again, like I said, for the most part, that's kids coming in. Usually the kids that have moved out, we know for the most part at this point in time.
Is that up or down from last year, you know?
In my building, we'll be down from last year simply because that 8th grade group that's going to 9th grade this year was a massive group. Yeah, so we're going to be short probably about 20 kids in the middle school building. A couple other things quickly that I'll highlight with the middle school. First off, 11th Street is not going to be done by the time we bring kids in on Monday. Phil is planning on dropping students off to the south end of the building. That's where we will open up that south end door so kids can walk in straight from there, but that's going to be probably a week and a half at least, you know, depending upon how well they're judging when they're going to be done, until that east side of the building is back to our main drop-off pickup point. And I'd just like to formally welcome Amanda Miller as our new guidance counselor, Sarah Boyles as our at-risk intervention person, Kelly Isaacs as our 7th and 8th grade language arts, and 2 new associates, Zoe Daisy and Aaron Rand. And lastly, a couple of community groups offering some meals for the SAC middle school staff, or the middle school staff. The SAC Kiwanis and the United Methodist Women are going to give a meal or 2 for the staff at the middle school, as well as SAC Elementary. So I want to recognize them for doing that for us. It's a good thing.
Denny, at our last meeting, we talked a little bit about bullying. I asked Kevin if there was a plan for this year, because you know, last year got to be kind of heated, or whatever you want to call it. I was just wondering, it sounded like your building was kind of the building that everything was happening in.
Can I jump in, Chris?
Sure.
I should, and I had it on my list if I just bothered to look at my list. One of the things that just so you're aware, dealing with that issue is that we met administratively, and then we also met with all the counselors. One of the things in the preschool that we're going to be doing, or preschool in-service, that we're going to be doing, besides just presenting data, which you'll be getting in September, about, how do you pronounce that?
Obeas.
Yeah, what he said. I know what it is, I just can't pronounce it. And you'll be getting that data, but what we're going to do this time, more than just present the data, when we have the entire staff there, is that we're going to actually break into job-alike groups, and we're going to give them a scenario we're going to practice. We're going to use the concept of everyone's got a toolbox, and we're all a partner in this dealing with harassment. And we're going to equip, our job is to equip you in your toolbox to be able to deal with this from a systemic approach, a systems approach, not just individually. And not just at the middle school, that's going to be bus drivers, cooks, everyone. And that's going to be presented. And then we're going to, on Wednesday, and then we're going to follow up monthly with each of the groups and each of the buildings with how's it going, what do we need to provide you to be successful in addressing this. So we're raising the level of awareness throughout the district, not just at the middle school. The other thing that we've done is we've done some shuffling with associates, and one of the job descriptions of one of the associates that you'll approve later in the meeting is actually dealing with in-school suspension at the middle school level, to take that burden away, because not away, but remove it from the office, my opinion, and I think others, and Denny, I think you jump in, but you know, if we get to the point of in-school suspension, it's got to have some meat to it, and having a room that is off a very fun environment in the office doesn't cut it. So we've got to invest, and so we are, and that was Denny's recommendation, that we adjust that, and so those are things that are happening. There'll be other updates that we give you dealing with harassment. But I looked everybody in the eye in the interview process, so we had a no-nonsense approach to this, and we're going.
Thank you. I like that.
going to national conference in November on bullying and cyberbullying, so I will bring tons of information back
Awesome.
for you guys.
Go back to what were you initially asking, Chris?
Well, kind of that, you know, what's our plan if something happens? What are we going to do? I mean, how are we going to get it to stop as much as possible? I know we're not going to stop it.
Well, and I guess I'll flat out say, you know, there was a board meeting last, I don't know when it was, April.
Yeah.
And I sat still and didn't say anything, and I should have said quite a few things that night. Some of the things that should have been said probably was there were class meetings that were going on throughout the year last year, having conversations with kids about bullying and harassment. We did some backdooring of those conversations, more talking respect, attitude, caring, simply because to some students bullying and harassment was a joke of a term, in all honesty. Because we had given them information upon information upon information where it got to the point, I think, that they didn't think that, you know, I don't know if their ear turned deaf to it or what it was, but we did a ton of educating with it. All of the harassment paperwork, every time that we had a case, it was followed through. As far as an investigation was concerned, every investigation that ended up with a founded case, there was discipline administered. So there was a ton of things that went on bullying and harassment wise as far as the staff was concerned with educating, with follow through. We have met as a building PBIS team which deals with student behavior within the building, developed a plan, talked about doing class meetings again this year, more addressing attitude, again, some of the caring aspects, respect aspects across the board. Obviously bullying and harassment fall within that category. So we're, you know, along with our administrative conversation and the counselors being involved with that, with the in-service plan and the initial plan that the PBIS committee has done in the middle school, I think we're off to a good start again this year.